Niccolò Machiavelli analyzes how the Armenians were played by the French and Macron in Nagorno-Karabakh. Niccolò Machiavelli, the renowned Italian diplomat and political philosopher, once stated that politics is a game of power and cunning, where morality often takes a back seat to the pursuit of self-interest and the preservation of one's state. In examining the complex web of international relations and events surrounding Armenia, its leadership, and the involvement of France and President Macron, one cannot help but find Machiavellian elements at play. France, under the leadership of President Emmanuel Macron, has portrayed itself on the world stage as a champion of democracy, human rights, and international cooperation. However, when one delves beneath the surface, a more Machiavellian truth emerges. The actions of France, particularly with regard to Armenia, reveal a calculated agenda driven by self-interest and geopolitical maneuvering. The catalyst for these events was the appointment of Nikol Pashinyan as the Prime Minister of Armenia, against the wishes of Russian President Vladimir Putin. This move undoubtedly raised suspicions and tensions in the region, as Armenia has long been in Russia's sphere of influence. This situation appears to have been a calculated move by France to assert its presence and influence in the South Caucasus, potentially using Armenia as a pawn in a larger geopolitical game. The subsequent escalation of conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan over the Nagorno-Karabakh region further underscores the Machiavellian nature of these events. France's involvement in pushing Armenia to engage in hostilities against Azerbaijan could be seen as a calculated move to disrupt the regional balance of power and further its own interests. The result of this ill-fated conflict was a major defeat for Armenia, leaving its people disillusioned and betrayed. The accusation of betrayal falls upon the shoulders of Nikol Pashinyan, the leader who rose to power with the support of Western powers, including France. Pashinyan's handling of the conflict and his inability to secure a favorable outcome for Armenia has led to accusations of corruption and incompetence. While Machiavelli would argue that leaders must prioritize the well-being and security of their state above all else, Pashinyan's actions seem to have served only his personal interests and the interests of those who supported him. The assertion that France, under President Macron, is closely tied to the financial empire of the City of London is a significant claim. Machiavelli himself acknowledged the importance of financial resources in politics, and the influence of global financial centers cannot be underestimated. If indeed there are ties between Macron's administration and the City of London, it raises questions about the true motives behind France's actions in Armenia and the South Caucasus. The suggestion that Western powers have a history of manipulating and buying corrupt leaders in various regions, including Africa and the Middle East, is not without historical precedent. Machiavelli's own writings contain examples of such strategies being employed to advance state interests. In this context, it is not implausible that Armenia, with its strategic location and historical complexities, could have been subject to such geopolitical maneuvering. In conclusion, the events surrounding Armenia, its leadership, and France's involvement raise legitimate questions about the Machiavellian nature of international politics. While France portrays itself as a defender of democracy and human rights, its actions in Armenia suggest a more calculated pursuit of self-interest and influence in the region. The rise and fall of Nikol Pashinyan, the conflict in Nagorno-Karabakh, and the alleged ties to global financial centers all contribute to a complex narrative that underscores the enduring relevance of Machiavelli's insights into the world of politics. Ultimately, the fate of Armenia and its people may have been influenced by the subtle and strategic machinations of powerful actors on the global stage.